Good afternoon, traders. Hope you guys are having a great Thanksgiving. Sorry if you hear voices in the background. I do have guests over still. But we're just gonna be doing our normal price action analysis of the S&P 500, SPY, Triple Qs, Nasdaq, Walmart, Coca-Cola, and McDonald's. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the big levels I'm gonna be watching tomorrow on SPX is gonna be this gap fill trade when we bring this to the 1 hour. So I'm going to be watching this gap fill trade right here at 45.38.70. I'm also going to be watching 45.76.61. I didn't want to mark out this closing because it's so close to this resistance point right here, and especially on SPY, as you can see right here, that, let's see if I can get this to zoom in, and we'll turn off the position studies. There. All right. So as you can see here, this resistance point is so close to the closing price that it'd be a lot bigger of a move for the bulls if we could cross 455 and hold it rather than the gap fill. So I'm not really paying attention to that gap fill, but I'll watch 453.27, 456.47 on SPY. As you see here, I got support and resistance zones. So these are going to be the support zones I have marked out. As you can see here, the big one is going to be right here. This is going to range between 453.27, 454.22. As you can see here, we got multiple touches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8 touches in there. Very high confluence, very high liquidity. So I would definitely look for a move into there and a nice bounce upward. Now, I'm not going to be trading anything until we get confirmation of a breakdown or a breakthrough of 455.12. Then I'll be watching the 456.47, be targeting the upside on that. On the NASDAQ, what I'm going to be watching on the NASDAQ is going to be gap fill 14,264.96, 14,202, so 14,200, pretty much close enough to that. And then on the triple Qs, what that's going to result in is going to be that's going to be 390, and I'd watch 388.43. I would watch overhead supply right here. I'd watch this support and resistance zone right here. That's going to be a big area to watch, and that's going to be between 386.74 and 387.71. And then the supply zone is going to be 391.41 and 393.07. You may be wondering, what's the difference between a supply and demand zone and a support and resistance zone? So the big difference is, as you can see here, on supply and demand, if price breaks the supply or demand zone, you would just delete the zone completely. On support and resistance zones, the difference is, as you see here, this served as resistance before, we broke through, retested and pushed up, we came back down to it, and now it's acting as a support level. So it's just, and let's just say price breaks through this the next couple of days, this is then going to turn to a resistance zone. This will turn into resistance. But at the moment, this is going to be a supply zone I'm watching. If we get multiple retests after we break through this and then touch it, then I'll consider it a support and resistance zones. But until then, it's going to be a supply zone. Let's see. Then Walmart. The big thing to watch on Walmart is going to be to see if we can end up, and I'll load the study for this position trading. I bought this based on the daily. So the big thing I'm watching is, as we can see here, the last couple of months, we've respected 200 EMA and the SMAs. So the big thing to watch for tomorrow is going to be to see if we break down the 200 SMA. And I'm just telling you this. My stop loss, my max stop is 152. But if we break down the 200 SMA tomorrow and break below it, that's going to invalidate any trade that I'm looking for at Walmart. And I'm going to be exiting fully on the position if we end up making a close below 154 tomorrow. If we hold 154, that's ideally what I'm looking for. Great, but come, I don't know, 340 to 359, I'm going to be dumping 10,000 of Walmart if we end up holding below this 200 SMA, because there's definitely going to be more downside. And I have it perfectly headshot with Coca-Cola, so it is what it is. I didn't really technically take a loss on it, so it'll work out in the end. And then on Coca-Cola, the big level I'm going to be watching, we'll go to the weekly because that's why I bought it. As you see on the weekly, same kind of pattern, but more in a multiple year time frame. as you see here, for about 1, 2, 3-ish, almost 3 years that we've respected the 200 EMA and SMA. We broke through below it, then we reclaimed it. I bought on the reclaim right here on this candle, 1113 candle I bought there. So my stop loss is on the other side of that. The big level I'm going to be watching for on Friday is going to be 58.82 to 59.93. Coca-Cola, if we can push into this support and resistance zone right here and break through it, that'll be very bullish, and I'll probably add to my position if that's the case. If we break through this barrier, I think that it will personally come up to 63. In that case, I'll add another 10,000 onto Coca-Cola with the position I'll sell at Walmart. If it ends up breaking below that 200 SMA on Walmart, I'll add my position into Coca-Cola. If we end up holding it on the SMA on Walmart, great, fantastic, best case scenario. But you got to always find ways to put your money into the market, otherwise inflation will eat it up. But that's what I'm watching tomorrow, traders. As always, like, subscribe, comment. It's always greatly appreciated, but have a great one.